I imagined that this was going to be a grand adventure, but I never pictured the horror of all this. So many of our friends and companions have died, and this damn vortex still threatens our world. I think it's time we shut it down. Permanently. Damn right I'm determined, and more than a little irritated at all this. Come on, hero. Let's show Molag Bal how it's done. Then I can get back to the ordinary craziness I usually get to deal with. I think we can. I hope we can. All I know is we've come too far to give up now. I just worry that we still have a lot of fight left to go. I think more of us are going to die before this is all over. If we'd known all this was happening, maybe my people could have stopped it. Valenwood is part of Nirn after all. But that's probably just wishful thinking. I've spent my life hiding in a dark forest. I've never seen the sky over Valenwood, or felt real rainwater on my skin. Molag Bal lied to us, and I'll never forgive him for that. I'm proud to be a part of all this. It's better to die fighting for what you believe in than to die fat and content. I read that in a book. It wasn't a good book, but the phrase stuck with me. And I believe it too. You showed me that there was more to life than that dark forest. You gave me hope. For that, I'll fight at your side till this ends, one way or another. We'll adjust to our true home again in time. For many of us, it will be the first time we get to see our homeland. That will be an exciting day. It's better to die fighting for what you believe in than to die fat and content. I read that in a book. It wasn't a good book, but the phrase stuck with me. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Inspiring quotes are nice and all, but living to tell our own tale is so much better.
Meridia and Molag Bal have always hated each other with a fiery passion, but that hatred has cost so many of our lives. I have a notion to show them both why Vanis Galarian's power should be feared. Chances. I don't believe in luck or fortune. We'll win this day with blood and magic, or we'll die trying. I won't lie to you, I doubt we can win this fight, but that doesn't mean we won't try. The same thing that happens to everybody. The world ends and everyone dies, and that's the best scenario. More likely, they'll all become soul-shriven slaves in Cold Harbor. No, we can't. But we're not the chosen ones. We're not heroes of destiny fated to succeed. We're simply soldiers, brothers and sisters fighting for what they care about. We're united and that makes us strong. That's what's important here. It's good to know your faith hasn't wavered. These men and women follow you. They face death itself to fight at your side. They will stand with you until the end. Don't disappoint them.
I thought the battle behind us was dreadful, but this place, it boggles the mind. Still, we've made it this far. Victory is within our grasp, especially now that the Radiant Lady stands with us. I've seen the rise and fall of my people. Yet I stand before you, the last of my kind. I am the last Ayleid, but I am proud to call you my friend. Cruel tyrants and conquerors who believed ourselves better than the other races of Nirn. When the lesser races decided we were the enemy and united against us, our downfall was all but guaranteed. We were too stubborn to see where we were wrong. That is a reason I am the last king of the Ayleids. I stood alongside the younger races, aided them. I believed in what they fought for. I was there when the power of High Rock switched from the Alessians to the Dareni. And I remember you, my young friend. The magic of your armor was not enough to deceive me, though the power you wielded could have done more harm than good. I am glad you used it to make the right decision in the end.
I always wanted to see a planar vortex up close and personal. Isn't that sky spectacular? Wait, what are we doing here again? Of course! Our epic quest. It must have slipped my mind. I've been on so many of these adventures, you know. After a while, they tend to blend together, kind of like these two realms are doing. Oh, sorry, old chap. That's a bad thing, right? Yes, I knew that. Terrible getting your dismal world into the wondrous vistas of Cold Harbor, like dipping bread in honey. Frightfully repulsive. Still, I believe this might just be my best quest yet. Well, that'd just be disgusting, wouldn't it? You know where honey comes from? It's regurgitated flower nectar. Oh, very well. I accept your challenge. Now, let's go and finish this so that I can taste your bitter poison. Concerned about what? We're heroes, my boon companion, and heroes always win. Let that be a lesson to you. Now, let's go and stop the plane meld.
To your friends, for these moments may be their last. But do not tarry too long. Time is fleeting, and each moment is a thief that steals far more than it brings. The Lord of Brutality uses dark anchors to bind this vortex. We must destroy all three before the power of Meridia's light is unleashed. Otherwise, the resulting backlash could destroy Nirn as surely as the plane meld would. Meridia's light must be unleashed at the focal point of the vortex. We will need to locate that focal point. Again, I remind you that this will be your last opportunity to speak to your allies before the final battle begins. When you are ready, let me know. So it begins. Destroy the remaining anchors. I shall begin searching for the focal point of the vortex. The chains bind both planes. We cannot use the light until those chains are destroyed. Go quickly. We have to hurry. Molag Bal knows we're here.
I grew weary of your games, Meridia.
Go, warriors of light. These dark chains must be broken.
You cannot stop me, Meridia. This realm
We're running out of time. I'll make sure these anchors are destroyed. You have to keep moving. Place the light and disrupt this vortex.
I'm sticking with her, my friend. Gabrielle and me, we've been through a lot. I'm not going to leave her alone.
Darian.
No one else dies today. That's an order. Come on, let's go set the light in place.
The light approaches. It brightens the shadows. It attempts to break the darkness.
But the darkness is strong. Our Father, our God, He is the darkness. He shall repel the light's approaches. He will consume the light. He will tear it apart. He will destroy it. He will.
Our Father has spoken. He wishes us to challenge you, and you alone.
You believe that I can destroy my blade belt? Since I would allow this, she's more foolish than I Drafted into a war you could never win. My counsel most curious. This light powers you somehow. Meridia, where are you hiding?
Merely fetching those who would stand against you.
I'm tired of this game. Now you shall die.
Get behind my shield.
If you think it would be that easy, my minions will take that.
Gabrielle! It's all your energy into this! We can't let up!
I'm doing my best!
You deal with the crystal. We'll take care of our new guests. These are some ugly bastards! Is this the best Moloch ball can throw at us? I'm hardly working up a sweat!
Make them remember it.
Must hurry. My shield can't withstand much more of this.
Almost!
We can beat this. We can. Darian, behind you!
Have no fear, beautiful Gabrielle. I have this under control.
Don't hurry. We can't hold back much longer.
The light is ready. Quickly, release it.
You cannot do this. I cannot fail.
Darian! Get back here! Darian!
The planar vortex is destroyed. Molag Bal's plane meld is at an end. You are mortal. You began to die the moment you were born. You are not fully dead. Not yet. Your song has only just begun, and many verses still lay before you. The vortex has been destroyed. I designed this place to be familiar and calming to you. It is a small pocket of oblivion under my protection. No harm will come to you here. Those present when you shattered the light were under my protection. They gather in the room beneath us, saying their farewells. Those who were not a part of the final battle, I cannot say. The Aeolid king suffered grievous wounds. He is near death, but he has not passed yet. Do you not see how singular you are? How remarkable? You entered the realm of a Daedric prince, gathered an army strong enough to fight his legions, and saved your mortal world. You are a valuable asset, mortal. You will be of great use to us. For the nonce, we require nothing. But the Dark Princes have taken notice of you, and they have plans, and plans within plans. Prepare yourself, and be ready when oblivion calls.
My time has finally come, it seems. I have lived far longer than any of my people. Finally, I will be able to join them once more. Meridia's shield protected the others. Darian and I were outside the shield, dealing with Molag Baal's damn portals. I watched as light filled your body. You were a beacon, and the last thing I will ever see. Darkness fills my eyes. As the light erupted around me, someone pushed me closer to Meridia's shield. It was too late to save me, but it did bring me here. My fate doesn't matter. I'm gladdened by the thought that Nirn is safe. Then I shall rest well, knowing my final day, the final day of the Aeolid people, was spent saving Nirn from the clutches of Molag Baal. And I want you to have this. A gift from my people to the hero of Nirn. To honor you and those who fell beside me in this great battle. Thank you. May the spirits guide me on my way. I left my family back in Windhelm.
I sell to the nobility.
The best horses aren't just...
Who protects us from our own
Please,
protectors?
stay in...
do you want?
This work isn't going to do itself.
What do you want?
It hurts! Oh, how it hurts!
I performed that ritual countless times, and it never exploded in my face before. If I discover that you sabotaged the divination... No. I shouldn't take my failure out on you. It's not your fault that things are... difficult. How do you know about... Lord Vivek told you?
Of course he did. It's his prerogative, I suppose. You must swear to keep this secret, though. There would be panic in the streets if the people believed one of the tribunal was incapacitated. It's true. I'm much better at scholarly pursuits than field work, and the ritual wasn't a total failure. It confirmed 3 locations from my earlier studies: Bolmora, Aldrin, and Berelzar's tower. I need you to investigate each of these sites. I researched what I could using the resources available here in Vivek City. To learn more, I need an agent to personally assess each location. Lord Vivek thinks you're the best one for that job. I hope he's right. I believe the mage seen in the ritual is Berelzar, who works out of an ancient Velothi tower. His experiments radiate energy similar to Vivek's affliction, but they're not a perfect match. Find out what he knows about the transfer of divine energy. House Redoran controls the town and nearby mines. House Halalu also has interests in the region. Rumors of a cult in the area concern me the most. I believe we saw a cultist during the ritual. Make discreet inquiries and see what you can learn. I have no idea. That's why we're sending you. I suggest you start at the inn. Secrets get spilled along with the drinks in such places. The miners may know something as well. I've heard that House Redoran has issued some kind of proclamation. Savage Ashlanders, like the one seen in the vision, use the area as a tribal meeting ground. These nomadic heretics deny the divinity of the tribunal and have no love for Vivek. But how they could be involved eludes me. See what you can uncover. I traced tendrils of Vivek's energy to these locations, and the ritual confirmed the connection before it went awry. Just don't discuss Lord Vivek's condition with anyone. We don't want to start a panic. If anything changes here, I'll contact you.
House Talvani still keeps slaves?
How else do those lazy mages accomplish anything?
But what about the pact?
House Talvani stayed out.
Please, this one needs to get out of here. Those cultists, they're insane.
All right, but keep your voice down. I'll be ready to leave soon enough. In the meantime, if anyone asks, you're just here to haul cargo.
What? Who? This one is just here to haul cargo. Cultists?
This one said nothing about cultists. Perhaps you are thinking of another Khajiit. Look, Renaku just wants to leave all these crazy dark elves behind and find a safer mine to work in. The Shulk ore mine is cursed. No one likes a Gwar liquor, you clawless kitten. It happened a few days back. Weird cultists just barged in and took over the mine. This one managed to get away, but the crew chief and some of the others are still out there. Happy now, fish breath?
What?
Dog. What happened? Let me see. I'm just trying to pet it. Don't think. Leave it alone. There's something strange about it.
You shouldn't be here. Didn't you read the House Redoran proclamation? I wouldn't be here myself, but some of my miners are still in there. Our mine was invaded by violent cultists. They showed up and just took the place over. My people are trapped. I'm no expert, but it looked like the cultists were preparing to conduct a ritual before the Ashlander interrupted them. Probably because I heard one of them say, "With this ritual we'll call forth a mystical weapon and attain the power of a god," or something along those lines. Look, I was just trying to get me and my miners out of there when the Ashlander showed up. Well, I never actually saw an Ashlander, but I heard a cultist yell, "Ashlander thief, that's our mystical weapon." That's not an exact quote, but you get the idea. I don't know what happened after that. I was kind of busy trying not to die. It used to be an ore mine, and we hope it will be again. My crew was inside preparing to start up mining operations when the cultists attacked. The way things are going, we might just have to turn the place into another Kwama egg mine. Really? That's awfully brave of you. If you see any of my miners, tell them to get their arses out here. I'll wait as long as I can. Or until I hear screaming. Then I'll go to Balmora and try to find some help. Good luck in there.
Only the dead will see an end to this war.
Did you meet the new commander?
I don't have to explain something I never said.
Did you find what you were looking for in the mine? Of course. I perfectly understand. I think I'll wait a little longer and see if any of my miners were able to escape from the cultists. Good luck with your mission, whatever it is.
I demand to see my brother. Lay hands upon me, and you will lose them. You there! The territory of the Red Exiles shouldn't be traveled lightly. Ashlanders once respected each other, helped one another. You'd think these were house wolves or tribunal dogs, the way they treated me. Speaking of the tribunal, you have the smell of dog about you. I wonder why that is. Lord Vivek, is it? And I thought all the tribunal cared about was building monuments to their own greatness. Nice to see that one of them cares about what's going on beyond their borders. Well, perhaps we can aid each other this day, Outlander. Ashlanders are nomads, but we gather at sacred sites to trade, confer, and pay homage to the past. Aldrin is such a place. That's why Chodala invited the Red Exiles here. But these outcasts won't let me into their camp. I need to find my brother. My brother, Chodala, is the Ashkan of our tribe, and I am his ambassador. I act as a go-between among the tribes. Chodala wants to unite the Dunma and calmly end the era of the bickering houses. He hopes to convince the tribes to follow his lead. Head into the Red Exiles camp and find my brother. Otherwise, see if you can find out what he was doing in there and where he's gone. Be wary of the outcasts. As you saw, they won't hesitate to attack without reason or provocation. No, just our tribe, the Urshilaku, though he's respected by most of the other Ashlanders for his wisdom and strength of will. He does hope to unite the tribes in a common cause, however. That's one of the reasons we've gathered here at Aldrin. My brother and I have always worked to help our people and improve the Ashlander way of life. He used to believe that peaceful negotiation was the best path to accomplish this. Recently, however, things have become different. He's almost like... No, that's not something I'm ready to talk about with an outsider. Perhaps after you prove your trustworthiness and willingness to help us, then we can discuss my brother in more detail. Perhaps. That's not our goal, but the tribes will defend themselves if necessary. No, we hope to present a united front and show the houses the folly of the path they've embarked upon. Turning away from our forefathers and god ancestors has made them weak. The Red Exiles, they're violent, dangerous Ashlanders who were banished from their tribes and joined together to create their own clan. Chodala invited them to the gathering and went into the camp to talk, but he's been gone too long. I'm worried. As you saw, hostility is second nature to the Red Exiles. We're here to negotiate, but they're no better than thieves and murderers. If they spot you in their camp, you'll need to defend yourself. It's unfortunate, but they'll leave you no choice.
He goes to the city just for pickpockets. Says it's the only laugh he ever gets.
You seem to have survived your visit to the Red Exiles camp. Did you find my brother? Interesting. I never suspected that the outcasts were disciplined enough to keep records such as this. Oh no. I can't believe my brother would be so brazen. It means that Chodala really has changed. With his newfound powers and rising ambitions, I fear what he plans for the tribes. I suppose you have a right to know what I'm talking about. Take this. I found it among my brother's possessions. Chodala discovered new power out in the wilderness, and it changed his view of the world. He writes about it in that document. Now he believes he's a Nerevarine, and incites the tribes while I try to keep them all from doing anything rash. You don't know? I thought... No, you're not an Ashlander, and the House Elves rarely talk about such things. Long ago, there was a hero named Nerevar. He fought alongside the Tribunal, before they claimed to be gods, until they betrayed him. So our legends say, Nerevar united the Kaima and forged an alliance with the Dwemer. He died at the Battle of Red Mountain. We believe the Tribunal hastened his demise, despite Vivek's claims to the contrary. The Nerevarine is a promise and a prophecy. We believe that, through the power of Azura, Nerevar will return to unite all Dunmer, House and Ashlander alike, and make Morrowind great again. The returned Nerevar will be known as the Nerevarine. While the prophecy of the Nerevarine can be interpreted as the end of the Tribunal, I have always seen it as a prediction of hope and peace. Chodala and some Ashlanders, such as the Red Exiles, favor war. That's not the Nerevarine I believe in. He uses an Ashkon's words to plant dark ideas in his followers. Ideas that speak of false gods, lost traditions, and the need for a cleansing war. His words become more forceful every day, but I hope to dissuade him from this violent course. All I know is that his new power frightens me. Chodala returned from a sojourn in the wilderness more vibrant, more commanding. He's always been strong, but now he's fearless, practically invincible, and swifter than the fastest Ashlander scout. Chodala says his new abilities strengthen his claim as the Nerevering. I think it's the staff he carries. He had it when he returned, and now it's always at his side. I know it's unreasonable, but I hate that staff. He calls it Sunara.
Not you too! This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry, Talana, but my wife insists we try.
What?
Help! Someone, please help! citizen.
Oh, here's one. Mortal, do you have a moment?
Such displeasure and disappointment. Nothing works, even though every calculation is precise. Now an interruption. How infuriating. Wait. Sometimes the great gear turns from frustration to opportunity. Divine energy. I'll have you know I participated in Lord Sother Seal's 9 analyses of the exalted enigmas. But we have more important matters. I'm about to determine the correlation between color and time, and I could use another set of hands. A reciprocal exchange. Interesting, yes. I can see the benefits of such an arrangement. Very well. Just activate the crystals in the proper sequence while I modulate the energy flow. Less chance of an explosion that way. Such a waste repeating words. Activate the crystals in the proper order. It's all about colors, like a rainbow. Make a mistake and reset the mechanism using that lever, unless it explodes. You'll be surprised how often that happens. Reset the mechanism and try again. Try again. Smoke instead of light. Not the reaction I was hoping for. Proper sequence. Try again. Good start. Keep going. Correct. So far, so good. Clockwork you are. Very close. One more to go. Yes, I love it when the gears align. Perfect. Such are the benefits of an extra set of appendages. The energy flows freely and without disruption, allowing the rods and the pistons to align in a most pleasing manner. Thank you. Now, why do you want to know about divine energy? Scent. How intriguing.
I was just thinking about my former master, Sir Cecile, and the experiments we conducted. He desperately sought to understand the power he and his companions attained, especially whether or not that power was temporary. Not while I assisted him. He had a tool that he used to drain away minute bits of his own divine energy to store and study. He could extract it and return it as he saw fit. Not sure what became of the tool, but here are my notes from those days. More questions? Well, Lord Sir Cecile attributed curiosity to intellectual superiority. Suppose I should do the same. Ask, and I will attempt to tighten the cogs of your ongoing education as best I can. Odd question. Is a hammer a weapon? A saw? A Dwemer spring spanner? No, it was just a tool. A device crafted by Sir Cecile to aid in his endless experiments. Suppose I could imagine ways to modify the device, but for what reason? Haven't a clue. Tools have a way of wandering off when you don't stay vigilant. Had a guar that used to swallow tools when I wasn't looking. Glowed for a month until the enchantment dissipated and the tool passed. Should have heard the screams. I was his apprentice, but that was years ago. Spent time working in the Clockwork City. That's what I learned about energy transference, Dwemer engineering, mechanical symmetry. Made me the dark elf I am today. But I have a question. Who sent you? The Archcanon, Lord Vivek's High Priest. Suddenly the gears align. I can think of a number of reasons that Alman V would want to know about C and his tools, but some doors just shouldn't be opened. He's the father of mysteries and the architect of time, one of the Tribunal, the three living gods of the Dark Elves. Creates all sorts of helpful and intriguing devices, like the Clockwork City. I haven't seen my old master in many years. It's a wonder and a miracle. All brass tunnels, glass domes, and giant gears. He was inspired by the work of the Dwemer, but the Clockwork City is pure Sir Cecile. He made it to forge the future and reshape the world. I learned a lot there.
Outlander, over here!
This requires a considerable amount of effort, so just listen. We have a problem here. Return to my office immediately. At last. Did you see what's happening outside? Red Mountain rumbles louder and more frequently. The sky grows dark, and worst of all, the people are beginning to notice. Soon I'll have to muster the Ordinators to keep them from the palace doors. In part, Lord Vivek is not well. I won't allow his followers to see him in this state. He continues to lose energy, and it's becoming difficult for him to maintain the realm in his usual fashion. Now, what did your investigations uncover? I'll review these documents and present your findings to Lord Vivek. I was against bringing you into this investigation, but I was wrong. Thank you for aiding us. You should go see Lord Vivek now. He's been asking about you. I'll be along shortly. Very well. Tell me what you learned at each of the locations, and let's see what conclusions we can come to. Barrelzal faithfully served Sotha Sil. He's as loyal to the tribunal as I am. He would never intentionally harm Lord Vivek. But that tool he mentioned. Perhaps one of the priests Vivek sent away could search the temple archives for more information. Lord Vivek doesn't want his followers to see him in such a weakened state. Only you, Canon Levuel, and myself are permitted into his palace now. Speaking of the palace, Lord Vivek wants to see you when we're done here. So your notes say, and this Saren assisted you. Interesting. Most Ashlanders want nothing to do with the tribunal. Even so, they rarely become aggressive. I'd say this Chodala bears watching. If we can spare it, I'll send an armiger to Aldrin. Interesting theory. Perhaps Chodala's staff can steal Vivek's energy. But I have a hard time imagining how an Ashlander could accomplish such a feat. Lord Vivek said the draining has grown more intense since you left. It doesn't look well. From what you discovered, I dare say there may be a correlation between the narcotic relic and the tool Barrelzal mentioned. And it seems the Ashlander thieves are connected to Chodala. Your evidence points to a clear conclusion. So it appears. Lord Vivek's doing his best not to complain, but I can see how much the draining of his energy has cost him. Just seeing you again should improve his mood considerably. And the progress you made with your investigations, outstanding.
Stand aside! Lord Vivek is expecting me.
Lord Vivek isn't receiving visitors today. My lord, please let me send for aid. Perhaps one of the healers can help you.
Pain is best tolerated in private, as I have written in the 37th ballad.
There must be something I can do.
You can call the Archcanon. He should hear the news our friend brings us. The river drains into the sea as my divinity flows out of me. Needs some work. As you can see, I continue to lose energy, and it has made me somewhat agitated. Have you made any progress toward discovering the source of my discomfort? An Ashlander? That seems unlikely, but I trust your instincts. We need to find out more about this Chodala and the ancient enemy that aids him. Take this. Another token of my appreciation. And look, here comes the Archcanon now.
My lord, the Outlander may have actually discovered something. After further examination of the documents you brought back, I have to agree with your assessment. The Ashlander Chodala has somehow siphoned divine energy away from Lord Vivek. Not exactly. But now that we know that the affliction isn't natural, we can work toward a solution, one that probably involves Chodala's staff. How the Ashlander got his hands on Sotha Sil's tool and turned it into a weapon is beyond me, though. Eventually, but we need to be cautious. If Chodala is as respected as you say, attacking him would start a war we can't afford to partake in. Go to Aldrin and talk to his sister, Saren. I don't trust her either, but she worked with you before. Get to Aldrin and locate Saren. She needs to tell us more about Chodala and then help us acquire his staff. Without it, we can't restore Vivek. Meanwhile, I need to placate the populace. The people grow concerned over Vivek's continuing isolation. Didn't we cover this? Let me refresh your memory. Lord Vivek suffers stoically as his divine energy drains away. Neither my administrations nor his defenses have been sufficient to plug the hole, so we've isolated him to keep panic to a minimum. If we knew for certain, we wouldn't be sending you to make a deal with a heretical Ashlander now, would we? Chodala must have something to do with Vivek's energy loss, but the how and why remain a mystery. That's why I must examine that staff. Everything you uncovered suggests the staff and Sotha Sil's missing tool are one and the same, and it's obviously connected to Chodala's newfound powers. Bring it back here so I can study it. The solution resides in the staff. I'm sure of it. Experience, Outlander. Experience. I have seen the Dunmer rage against the gods at the least provocation. When they realize that Vivek is ill, that his powers are failing, they'll weep and gnash their teeth like frightened children. The people don't handle the infirmities of their deities very well, especially when those infirmities could foreshadow Red Mountain's eruption or portend the moonlets fall from the sky. Once such fear ignites, it spreads like wildfire. They try not to think about them at all. The Ashlanders are savages. They refuse to acknowledge the supremacy of Lord Vivek in the tribunal, instead putting their faith in the despicable Daedra. They're heretics, pure and simple. The Ashlanders hold to superstitions the way Kwama protect their eggs. If they really considered Chodala to be the Nerevarin, then any action you take against him will enrage the tribes. Talk to Saren and see if she can suggest an alternative course.